That was it. It's game time. Open the door. It's like, what's up, everybody? Yeah, whatever. And he plays us Yahndi, some of the Yahndi cuts. And he performed them too, man. Like, being Ye, bro.
Wow.
Great artist. Like, one of the greatest artists, bro. Being the greatest artist for us. Him being passionate and believing what he's saying and playing us these songs that are just Ye level. There's levels. And then there's Ye level. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't have said it better.
So we play that thing we did. We sound like 808s and heartbreaks. And his reaction, you want to know, like, oh.
I want him to freak
really
out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It never happens like that with the real guys. But all he did is, he did this face, like, and he's like, do they have beds here and showers? And he was looking around the facility, like, I'm like, yeah, man, I think they have a shower upstairs. And I don't know why he was asking. He's like, okay, yeah, we're going to do my album this week. That's
Wait,
all he
what?
said. Yeah, that's all he said, bro. After he heard that thing that we played him. And I know he liked it. I know it struck a chord with him.
Now, as a personal fan, bro, Coldplay has just, been huge for my life. It's been like, kind of like the soundtrack to my life, bro.
My manager too is his favorite band.
So can we talk about that, bro? Can you connect those dots?
Fast forward. This was 2017 now. So a little TMI. I was getting down with my wife, and my phone kept ringing, and I'm like, damn, like, come on, man. It was Gary, and Gary does not call like that unless it's something real important. And I called him back. He's like, yo, I need you to answer. He's like, yo, you're going to work with Chris Martin tomorrow in Miami. I'm like, what? He's like, pack your bags. You're on the flight in the morning. You're going to go work with Coldplay. Coldplay has a show in Miami, and they're doing a studio session. Wow. This was, I think, on a Saturday night and Sunday, and then the show was Monday. And you're working tomorrow, Sunday, at Hit Factory with Chris and Tim. I was like, what?
Bro, what? It didn't register for a minute, right?
Of course not. That's far-fetched.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what? For real? He's like, yeah, man, pack your bags. I'm so happy, favorite band. We started crying. I have a Coldplay poster that still hangs on my room. I don't find it weird. I'm really a fan of that, and it's something that my wife and I connect over. Coldplay is very intimate to us because it's such a crucial part in our relationship. Like, one of our first days was a front row Coldplay show that I spent the last money I had on, but we drove to Cincinnati and we were at a Coldplay show front row. And then we did Lollapalooza, same. We went out there with no money. We slept in the car in Chicago.
To see your favorite band.
Yeah, to see our favorite band. So it's a very special group of individuals with a catalog of music that mean a lot to us. I had this poster and I'm sitting there and I'm like, babe, I'm going to go meet Chris Martin tomorrow and work with Chris Martin. And I'm looking at the poster and we just start crying. Like, what?
I'm getting emotional right now too, bro. That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. And I know it sounds emo. It sounds super emo, but bro, this is real. It's just real.
If you're human, you got to feel this story, bro.
Yeah,
this is a real one. This is great.
Show up to Miami, and Gary's amazing for doing this. He's like, I'm only going to tell you this, bro, because I don't want you to get shocked and I don't want it to affect you. I'm flying your wife down. You guys are going to be at the Coldplay show. We're treating your wife. This is a gift to you, brother. Kill the session. Don't be shocked when your wife shows up. Just pretend. Please pretend. I don't want to tell her. For all she knows is you're getting surprised, but I just don't want you to be shocked when you see your wife walk in. So show up to the session. There's Chris Martin, yo. Nicest dude ever. It was such a fun jam session. With Chris Martin, and this is something he explained to us later in the session. He describes it as like fishing. Look at making music, like a fishing trip with friends. And he has this big smile, these big blue eyes. He's like, we're just showing up to fish. And some days you're going to catch big fish, or you're not going to catch any fish, sometimes medium fish. But one day you could really catch a real big fish. And it's all about having fun. Let's just throw our reel in and have a good time, guys. Thank you for being here. I'm Chris Martin from Coldplay. And that's how he gave us this lesson that I always tell people about. I'm like, yo, he's right. So we did the session. It went great. We did a bunch of ideas, just jamming. No pressure, just like, all right, next, Tim, crazy sounds, me adding my thing, Chris playing the piano right here, Dan doing his thing over there. It was organic and beautiful. We were jamming. It was just amazing.
No pressure. Yeah.
No pressure, just fishing, just having a good time. So then we go to the show, And they put us in a suite, the Rock Nation suite. For Coldplay, I wouldn't do a suite again. It was beautiful because for Coldplay, man, we like being out there. That particular show, it started raining, pouring, and they didn't stop performing, bro. Chris was wet guitars, like it was raining down on them. And me and my wife were just so happy to be there, man. And during Magic, right before the record Magic,
you know, I was just listening to that record before you got here, bro. That's crazy.
One of my favorite songs. The way that record came about, it was a jam session that they were doing, and that bass line, and then Chris recalled it 2 years later or something, and he told us a story about it.
Wow.
Crazy. But shout out to Tim and Angel in the middle of all these people at the Hard Rock Stadium. He literally shouts Timbaland and me out.
Crazy.
Which was insane because I managed to grab a clip of it. Someone had posted. I'm like, yo, he really just... I remember getting a text from Nick Valentin, my boy Nick from Hit Factory, because he hooked everybody up from Hit Factory seats, and Trevor was there, and Nick was like, yo, he just shouted you out.
That's wild, bro.
I was like, yo, Chris is the nicest person in life, because they knew that, you know, my manager told him like, yo, this guy is really a fan of you guys, like big time. And his wife too. And we went to the after party, and my wife got to meet Chris Martin. And it was funny because every time Chris would turn around, she'd be like, that's him. Like, that's really, she's freaking out, you know, inside.
We're a long way from Applebee's right now, bro.
Very long way from Applebee's, bro. Way, like, that was it. You know, now she's not working, you know. I was like, all right, I got you.
Blessed,
she ended up getting sick. She had an ovarian cyst, and it was a very hard time for us. You know, it was we thought it was I mean, it was very scary times.
Is this happening right around the same time? By the way,
no, this was still Applebee's days.
Applebee's days,
and then literally, just to go back to that moment, when she couldn't work no longer because she had to have this surgery. That's when that money came in for Skylander. It was like God's perfect timing.
Whoa,
man. It was wild. Gary was like, yo, Chris wants to see you and Tim again in Malibu. And on that day, Tim got sick on the way from Miami to over here. So he wasn't feeling well. He didn't make that first session.
Was it just you and Fede then?
It was just me and Fede. And Chris was ill too, but he showed up to the session. And I was like, oh, it's not, I don't know if it's going to happen. And he already knew me. He hadn't met Fede, but we started jamming, man. And we just crushed it.
You started fishing.
One of the songs that made it on the Coldplay album was from that day.
Crazy.
It was just me and Fede.
What song is that?
Champion of the World. I started this drum beat, just that groove, and then we just started jamming. And I ended up playing the electric guitar, which they kept on the recording, and there you go, that guitar line. That was made from that first day. And I remember riding back through the canyon. It was a long drive because Fede lived in North Hollywood, and I was staying at an Airbnb. I was looking for an apartment already over here. We were talking. We're like, man, I think Chris loved us. And after that whole week, ended up being Thundercat was over there. Dav, who's a string arranger, amazing composer for Coldplay. He did like Viva La Vida, all their string work.
Crazy.
Amazing. Bill Rayco, Leon LaHavas was there with Thundercat. And it was like the craziest session for a while. I remember Tim was like, we're just gonna go outside and smoke and listen to these incredible musicians, because it was literally a concert. Even Chris was kind of sitting out like, yo, this is insane. The most beautiful music. I wish I could go back just to listen to some of those. I gotta hit them up. But I remember going back after that week with Fede on the last night, and we're like, man, I think Chris loved us. I think he's gonna call us back. And bro, like the month after, calls us back.
Chris hit you up, or did he go through Gary, or what?
We went to management.
Okay, went through management.
Yeah, but he already had my number, and we have each other's number, and we started working. And this one day they had the studio set up in one of his houses in Malibu. We had left. And I get a text from him. I wake up to a text from Chris at like 2 a.m. He's like, this song just came to me, because Chris believes the songs come down to him and through him. And he was like, this song just came to me. Yeah. And he was like, it's urgent that you guys come. Can you guys please come tomorrow? I know it's last minute. So this was direct. So I hit Fed in, of course. I mean, we're all game. We love working with Chris. It's almost like spiritual and like in a musical way. It's just like no pressure, and there's no better way of making music. And with someone who, to me, he's one of the greatest songwriters that we have on earth right now, like without a doubt. So it's always a good time. And he's like, yo, the song came to me. So we show up, and it ended up being the single that made it to radio from this last album.
Really?
Yeah, which had his son beatboxing, boom, cat, boom.
What's the track called?
Orphans. That was the song, and we worked on it there. And then Max Martin ended up coming and rearranging. And
yeah, hearing that backstory is so dope. Whereas like it just came to him. He's like, "Yo, I know it's last minute, but we gotta work."
Middle of the night, bro. It was a text at like 2 a.m. I woke up. Chris Martin, the song just came, and it's unbelievable, and it's urgent that we get it done.
Was there a little voice note with the text message like, "Yo, here's the melody idea"? You just trust it?
It's just like show up, and we're like, dude, of course.
Yeah,
we'll see you there, 4 p.m. Drive over there, and we did the song, and it's so amazing seeing Chris in the studio because the same energy he has on stage, it's in the studio. It's like he had the mic and he was performing the song like he was about to. The same energy, but it's just us, and he's just running around.
Awesome, man.
Such a good song, you know, and the fact that his son was a part of it, and to see how happy he was about that.
That's so dope.
You know, to have Lil Mo on, it was like, boom, the cat. Boom, the cat, like having that groove. It was beautiful.
How long does that surreal, trippy feeling stay with you? I wonder, because again, like you had the posters up. Again, it's like. I mean,
every time. I mean,
does that go away, bro? Or is it still trippy?
I got to take my wife to one of the sessions, which Chris was so cool to like allow me to do that, because my wife she knows the etiquette in the studio, like. You know, and I remember at one point turning around and she was just bawling quietly. But just crying, you know. And I asked her, I'm like, what was that like? And I wanted to do that because to me, it's rewarding. Like, I don't care about the money. It's moments like being able to take my wife, childhood bands, and her getting to meet. I got to take her to the Bahamas with Justin, and we had dinner by the water, and Justin was super welcoming, and seeing her meet, you know, these
especially knowing the grind that she put in, knowing the Applebee's.
And that's why it's important to me. And the fact that my friends, these artists, have been able to welcome that. You know, she went there for a couple hours and had lunch with us, but turning around and seeing our favorite band right there working on songs we're doing, to me, that's why I do that.
That's bigger than dollars.
Exactly.
To me.
We are in Miami working with Saweetie.
Female rap
star. That's when we did Back to the Streets. We produced that week. It was December of 2018. And I get this text. So I'm the point of contact. I'm kind of like A&Ring, producing, and with Gary really hands-on, you know, handling stuff behind the scenes. And he texts me. He's like, yo, this was Art Basel week. Ye wants to see Tim in Miami tomorrow. So this was after a great week with Saweetie. Saweetie's dope.
Are those records out? The Saweetie records?
Just Back to the Street, which went number one. That was the first record I get to be part number one.
It's back to what you said. I like how you said dominoes. Like once that first domino fell, you see what I mean? Sam Smith was it, and then you know it culminated, you know, through this whole journey which you just shared.
Yeah, big time.
All the way into like a number one record.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, you get this call after this great week with Saweetie.
Yeah, we're still there at the studio. This was late, and Gary's like, Ye wants to pull up on Tim, and I'm like, wow, that's a big deal. Let me tell the guys that 808s and Heartbreaks I went through a suicidal period as a kid. I don't even know why, but I was depressed. And when 808s and Heartbreaks came out, I remember spinning in a chair in a room with the mattress hanging out, and I had this like ghetto studio set up at my mom's house. I was very depressed. I don't even know why. And this was like in 2008, and I would just sit there and listen to 808s and Heartbreaks and spin in circles. And 808s and Heartbreaks was like, I had a health journey. I'm big again. I had gained the weight because my best friend, who was my gym partner, passed away. But when I went to that was what I would listen to, 808s and Heartbreaks. So I was a massive Ye fan. You know, obviously Yeezy fan, like the shoes he was doing as a designer. So I get that text. I'm like, yo, that's pretty dope. You know, that's some good stuff. Let me tell the guys. We had the Mosley brothers there, who are incredible producers that are signed to Tim too. We had Dirtwork there, Michael Dirtwork, and then we had Fede and myself. So I was like, yo, Ye's pulling up after the session.
And what time is this, man? Give us
This was late. This was like 10 p.m.
You were about to wrap things up, basically.
We were about to wrap and hit the hotel. That was it. We were already flying out the next day. Bruh, like, yeah, Ye's pulling up tomorrow morning. We're not leaving here till we have some ideas. Because we're like, we got to prepare a vibe. We have nothing for Ye. What do we have for Ye? Like, you don't just not prep stuff for Ye, bro.
You got to come correct. Yeah.
You got to come correct.
Yeah.
I mean, Ye, you know, one of the greatest
absolutely.
artists all around. Ye is not a one-dimensional artist. He's multi-dimensional.
I always say that, bro.
You talking from design, his home designs, like the stuff he's doing, mega fan, you know? But anyway, so yeah, we're sitting there, and I told guys, yeah, Ye's pulling up. Let's get some vibes here. We were there till like 5 a.m, bro. Came up with like 3 different vibes. And one of them felt like 808s and heartbreaks. Like, and we had our boy Kosha, Topline. He was an artist that we signed to Mosley. Everybody just collaborated on this one piece. We were there till 5 a.m. I get a text at 9. Ye's on his way to the studio. So here I go.
Where are you sleeping, bro? Are you sleeping?
We're at the AC Hotel.
Okay.
Right down the street in Aventura. That's where we always stay. That's kind of our home base when we're over there. It's just like super close. The hotel staff knows us. It's almost like, oh, nice to see you again. You know what I'm saying? So I text everybody, yo, it's time to go. Like this dude's about to pull up. We got to be there early, blah, blah. We show up and word was he was showing up at 10. But he showed up like at 9:30. And it was off guard because we're all chilling in the studio just ready. Like, okay, we got these vibes to play. Whatever. I walk out to the restroom. There's a little, like, you got to walk out these double doors, Hit Factory, to walk to the restroom. As soon as I walk out, he walks in. He's just like, what's up? Yay. Oh, where's Tim? It's like, he showed up way earlier than he was supposed to. And I was like, I obviously didn't go to the restroom. Turn around. I'm like, yeah. And he looked in the room. He's like, who's that? I'm like, that's part of our squad. It's like Team Timbo. He's like, okay. That was it. It's game time. Open the door. It's like, what's up, everybody? Yeah, whatever. And he plays us Yahndi, some of the Yahndi cuts. And he performed them too, man. Like, being Ye, bro.
Wow.
Great artist. Like, one of the greatest artists, bro. Being the greatest artist for us. Him being passionate and believing what he's saying and playing us these songs that are just Ye level. There's levels. And then there's Ye level. You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't have said it better.
That's just Ye level. And he plays these records for us and we're like, wow, man, he's performing them, doing the Ye dance. Like, it's almost like a concert for us. And then Dirtwork is a massive Ye fan. Incredible dude. I love Dirt. And he has like the little bear tattoo too, which is crazy. You got to show him.
College Dropout.
Yeah.
This is pre-Tim, by the way. Tim
hasn't showed up.
Yeah.
Tim's probably getting the text like, all right, it's time to go. Gary's probably hitting him like, yo, Ye's there already. Your guys are there, blah, blah. So we play that thing we did. We sound like 808s and heartbreaks. And his reaction, you want to know like, oh,
I want him to freak out, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It never happens like that with the real guys. But all he did is, he did this face like, and he's like, do they have beds here and showers? And he was looking around the facility like, I'm like, yeah, I think they have a shower upstairs. And I don't know why he was asking. He's like, okay, yeah, we're going to do my album this week. That's
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's all he said, bro. After he heard that thing that we played him. And I know he liked it. I know it struck a chord with him where it felt right for him to say that. Bro. And that was it, bro. That was it. Like, do they have beds here? Kind of saying like, yo, you guys are about to be here, sleeping here. We're going to work on this album this week. Tim shows up. Ye kicks everybody out the room and it's just me and Tim. Because he kind of saw it was kind of like Tim's main guy being like, that like right hand for a minute.
So we got the visual, right? Again, it's just you, Ye, and Tim in the room right now.
In a room,
right,
in the big room at Hit Factory. All the other producers are in the other room. And it wasn't on he just wanted just like the space. He was like, yo, can I just ask everybody very politely, And we're just in there jamming. It's like me on the laptop. I got a bunch of Tim beats and stuff that we have. And then Tim's got his push set up. Ye's got the mic. And bro, there was like 70 freestyles, bro. And
you just heard Ye going off dome, basically off the top,
big time. And it was like, just play me Tim's beats, and also Tim just playing drums live, no quantized, no nothing, and Ye freestyling these crazy bars. Because the way Ye writes is he's got the bar of the song that unlocks it, and then he gives it, and other writers come in and like take that and develop it, and then Ye comes back in and like, nah, we gotta say this, da 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 da. It's a genius way to work.
They build around that bar, basically.
He has those bars that coming out of nowhere. You're like, this man did not just say it. Like, crazy bars, bro.
He was going through a lot of stuff around the time of Yahndi records were being worked, right?
He had a lot to say, bro. And he was going through a spiritual transformation. I feel like God was nudging his heart at the time.
Right there, yeah.
That's the point, like, in the Jesus is King album we did, where you talk about, like, Jesus did the laundry. I feel like God started putting that stuff through the laundry and in his heart, which was beautiful to witness for me, being someone coming from the church. Another full circle. I remember Ye coming up to me like, beats does Tim have in his laptop? I'm like, man, there's about 2,000 some in there right now, like session. He's like, all right, I need these by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Angel, can you do that? I'm like, sure. Obviously not, because Tim's computer, his template is so big, it takes forever to open, bro. It's like, it takes like 5 minutes for one session to pop open, and then it's a process.
Of course.
You know, so I'm like, man, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to get that many. So we just had a bunch of bounces, you know? And so basically we took the freestyles that he did, and then we gridded them, even though he didn't want a grid. I remember I walked out, and Nico, his camera guy, caught me. It was probably the funniest face. I hope it doesn't make the documentary. I doubt it will, but I walk out, I'm like, yo, we got to grid these. He's like, no grid. He's like, they want you to be on the grid. We got to move freely. We're not putting these on the grid. You know, there's a certain tempo. He's like, no, we're not going to have a certain tempo. We're going to move freely with this. This is music. But I remember when he said no grid, I was like, oh, shoot. Like, yeah, he's telling me no grid. It's hard to work without the grid, you know? It makes the process a lot more like complex. There was a bunch of freestyles without being gridded. And basically we took those freestyles and made them some arrangements, added music to them, because a lot of them were just drums. And next day he walks in, he was like, man, y'all killed it. Like, I love what I'm hearing. I love how y'all work. He's like, and this is how we came up with this group, The Factory, which is Timbaland, the Mosley brothers, Fed, and myself. Ye said it. He's like, man, y'all are like a factory. And yeah, bro, there was a whole week of that. The third day we disappointed. He's like, man, I feel like y'all came in with a different energy the last 2 days. But bro, we were tired. We did a session. It was like 24 hours. So yeah, man, we're at Hit Factory the whole week. And this one freestyle, Ye walks in, and I would write down notes, you know. He walks in, he's like, And I remember just like writing down, I still have that notebook. I posted a clip of it. I was like, vocoder. And I think that was a turning point for him when he heard what we did with that. All the other freestyles, I gave them to everybody else, and I held on to that thing because I heard Feta do the vocoder before. And he's a genius, the way that man, because he's such a massive fan of Daft Punk. He like studied the way they do all that. He's phenomenal. He's my favorite producer, like my production partner. I admire him so much, man. Look up to him. He's really one of the dopest producers out here, bro.
Damn.
Fed it. I remember I handed him, I was like, bro, vocoder. Like, and he kind of already knew. He was just locked into that. Bro, what we did with that, when we played it for Ye, bro, he went insane. He grabbed the mic. Did you passion, law of attraction, he just started like mumbling that melody, but it leaked, bro. They leaked our stuff. Somebody leaked our. There's a lot of Yahndi Day, whatever they call them, leaks, and there's a version where he starts rapping. He's like, no. This is some of the bars he says, like Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto. This is a sim. Like he's spitting, bro. His reaction was the artist. Yeah, we evoked him saying some stuff, but that little piece of music, I feel, was what had us in his mind for what was going to be the rest of the journey. Because it was such a Ye level sounding thing. I feel like it clicked to where his mindset was.
That was the moment.
Yes. And at that time, he was like into this James Terrell, who's this artist, architect.
Arizona.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He took us there.
Rodin Crater.
Yeah. I'll talk about that.
Yeah,
he took us there.
Yeah, please.
Crazy experience.
Bro. Okay.
Crazy experience. So that was that moment. He's like, this feels like Terrell. We gotta be Terrellians. That's what he said. He's like, this feels like that. And it wasn't angry yet. It was like passionate yet talking to us, saying like, we unlocked something with this. And I feel like that, the fact we landed on that gem, all the other freestyle, what else made it out of that? I don't think anything else made it from those sessions except Law of Attraction, which was called Use This Gospel. And it was called Law of Attraction because Ant ended up writing a version. Did you ever think of a dream too big to imagine? Follow your passion. One day you'll face law of attraction. Be careful what you ask for. Like that was the original like hook or whatever, you know, but came in and we did the Use This Gospel. Law, that's what we know it as, Law of Attraction. But that was a crucial piece of music that we stumbled on, that we worked on, that kept us, I feel, in the conversation. A week later, he flies, he's like, where's the whole squad? Come to Calabasas.
The factory.
Yeah, the factory. Yeah. Right before Christmas to the compound in Calabasas. And Feta lives here already, so he flew the Mosleys, flew me in. We stayed at a hotel in Calabasas, and then we started going work there. And it's amazing to walk in that place because it's inspiring. He's got all these like boards of like visuals and color palettes, and like I admire all that, man, because it's genius. You have no choice but to be inspired in that environment. And then you walk in the big like factory room, and he's got the whole Yeezy collection, like racks of stuff and like sculptures, and it was just great energy. So we're sitting there, and I was already in touch with Ye on text, and Ye hit me. He's like, yo, we're in the session. We're in the middle of the session. He's like, I want you to come to Road and Crater. I need you to see this in person. I need you to get inspired. I need you to communicate what I'm seeing to the whole squad. I got to take you there. So he's like, call such and such. And I'm like, okay, yeah, what's the flight number? In my mind, I forget, it's private, He's like, yeah, she'll give you the tail number. The tail number? What the hell is that? What you mean the tail number, bruh? So
we a long way from Applebee's.
We're a very long way from Applebee's, bro, and Guitar Center. I had no clue what he was talking about. He's like, oh yeah, you could bring a person. So just, pick whoever you want, just bring one person. We have 2 flights, 2 airplanes, it's packed. So I obviously want to take the Mosleys too, but Fed, I was already locked in with him, and I'm like, yo, Fed, I pulled him outside. I'm like, after the studio, let's just go shower, and at 2 a.m. meet at Van Nuys Airport. Are you down? Yeah. So we texted over the information, and yeah, man, we were on our way to Road and Crater.
On the PJ to Road and Crater.
On the PJ to Road and Crater. Shout out to Ye, man, because it was such an incredible. I had no idea what we were doing, and I was wearing these he gave us a pair of shoes in Miami. Yeah. That were samples. I got them dirty, but I didn't care, man. I was like, yo. I remember being at Roden with Fed, and it was such a dope experience. Like we were already homies, we already built a friendship, and we're like, man, we're here, bruh. And I remember Ye coming up to me and Fed. He's like, so a week ago, would you think you would be at Road and Crater with Kanye West? Like, nah. Like funny, like what are you supposed to say? And like, it was so dope, man. Like just being welcomed by Ye, like building a connection with him. It was super, super like fire to get to know like Kanye. Incredible person, man. Incredible human, for real. He's often misunderstood, and it sucks. What a genuine human being, People call him crazy, whatever. Like, nah, man. I call it genius. And I call it genuine more than anything. If you have the power to speak your mind and be you, not everybody has that superpower, bro.
Let me tell you something I say on this podcast often. So it's kind of a full circle moment for me right now. The fact, you've built with Kanye in this way. Something I say about Kanye all the time is he's the one dude I think of that tries to get people to embrace their uniqueness.
Big time.
And pop out of the matrix and wake up to who God created you to be. We're all created so differently. Yeah. And we're trained, I think, in society to kind of fall in line in some way. Am I right?
Yeah.
And then that prevents you from like blooming into what you're here to do, why you were created in the first place, bro. I got chills on saying this, but Ye is one of the biggest voices in my opinion for that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But on the way to that, he gets misunderstood, and people want to build their own.
That's because he's not part. Yeah, because he's anti system. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you, of course,
anti-grid, like he told me, no grid,
bro. I gotta apologize on that.
Which I get that now. Which I get it now, right?
Anti-grid is metaphorical for life, bro.
It is. Yeah, it is, because he's all against that. If you say
that's crazy,
blue, nah, we're going orange.
And I love that, because we need more voices, in my opinion. Like, it's great. It's amazing to have Ye. I'm grateful for that, but we need more people doing that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Especially at the level of influence. So yeah, so we were out there, and bro, it was a dope experience. We came back super inspired, finished off the week. I went back home. New Year's Day, he calls me, and how are you? And I could tell he was just with family. I could hear his wife and kids in the background laughing. And he called me out the blue. He's like, yo, I want to open a church and I need a choir. And he's telling me, I'm like, man, he's telling Angel, I'm in Ohio. He's like, can you get with Ray Romulus? And so I called Ray Romulus right away after that call. I have that notebook. Ye called, wants to start a church. Wrote down the songs that he want. Like, I wrote everything down because it's a lot of info. You'll forget. I don't want to forget any detail he said.
Does Ye operate like that where you're just like, it's almost stream of consciousness, it feels like. Is Ye just going and like you're just...
Yeah, and I have a great memory, but when you're talking to a genius like that and there's instruction and there's an invitation to create, I don't want to miss out on anything.
Bro, so Ye hit you up to help pull this together though.
Yeah, like I had Ye, it was cool. We built a dope friendship. We built like a dope, like... He was calling me, and it was something I didn't take for granted. I'm like, man, this is super dope because I really admire this man.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Not as just like he's
it's almost like a friend.
And it was very honorary for me to have these conversations and him throw ideas at me.
Yeah,
trust his ideas with me, like, bro. That's just like, I never thought of that coming out of Ohio.
Another full circle moment right there.
Never thought of that. Like, listening to his music, helping me through these crazy suicidal thoughts for I don't even know what. So the adversity, definitely with my wife getting sick, that was definitely challenging because you get scared. We wake up and she has this ball popping out of her stomach. That was scary. And then she passed out on me, bro.
Wow.
Like, woke up and she's like, babe, and she was on the toilet and then she passes out on me and like, her eyes rolled back and her tongue locked. I remember seeing a video of some soccer player, like when he passed out, they opened, make sure the tongue didn't go back. That's the first thing I did because I had bite marks of how tight she was passed out. So it was like, that was a very scary moment. And it was all from overworking and the lack of nutrition. She had gotten real skinny, like very scary skinny, That was really challenging. And I had other challenges. I was brought up single mom and food was not always there. I mean, she did her best, but food not always there because she would give up her meal to feed us. And there's but to me, in the journey to get here, that was definitely the hardest thing to go through. See the person you love, health is everything, man.
Absolutely.
And that was definitely it, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. That was a very hard moment. Yeah, the money stuff is hard.
Yeah.
You had times where I had multiple eviction letters, even after knowing Tim, and I wasn't gonna hit Tim and say, yo, can you get me a check? I was being patient for the pub deal. I wasn't gonna try to get ahead of God's real blessing. You can't rush that.
So well said, bro.
Yeah, bro. You can't rush God's blessings.
It's like bringing food out of the oven that's not ready. Like that's a whole different meal, right? If you bring it out of the, it'll
mess you up. Eat uncooked bread.
It'll make you sick, bro.
Yeah, it'll make you sick.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to rush that and ask. I remember being so stressed. I locked myself in the restroom this one day, turned the lights off, and I sat in the bathtub and just cried and said, "What am I supposed to do, God? Do I keep going? What's going on? My wife is sick. I got an eviction letter. Like, what are you supposed to do?" I wasn't thinking suicide. I'm not the guy to go throwing. But when I was a kid, it was different. You go through dumb thoughts. You read shit, whatever. But this was me just genuinely like.
You didn't see a way out of this.
It closed in on me. Yeah. It's like the vision went like this. And it's not I was focused on something. It was more of like the sight was lost. You know what I'm saying? So definitely God through people like Gary Morella came in, and without him even, the moment I told him I needed something, he's like, "Oh, I got you. Here's $2,000.
That's beautiful.
What? Pay your rent, bro. Here's that. You need anything else?" Like, bro, Gary's been such a blessing, and it's God through him. You know what I'm saying? And we've had our battles. Like, our team is not perfect. No team is perfect. You always have ups and downs.
You got friction.
We have friction, but like I told Gary just the other day, because getting out of this COVID episode last month, I felt so grateful, man, for simple stuff. Put a lot of my health into perspective, and it put my friendships. And I called him. I'm like, bro, I'm so grateful for you, just for you, and the fact that you have a beautiful family, a healthy family. I'm like, bro,
to me, what you're sharing right now, bro, is a problem with the human condition, in my opinion. Where if you think about like the moments we're having right now in this conversation, these are like real moments, and I think that it takes tragedy for humans
Fortunately.
Right? Think about 9/11, bro.
Unfortunately.
Think about COVID, bro.
Everything.
Why does it take that to get connected and get real?
Everything.
Right?
Even
and I think it goes back to
killings.
it goes back to the Matrix thing that Ye talks about. In my opinion, I think we're just all
gridded.
dialed in, head down.
It's gridded.
Yeah.